Hello, welcome to your math lesson. Today we're going to be talking about right angles of different shapes. So today we're going to start with this shape. This is a what? If you said square, you are correct because all the sides are the same length. Very good. And if you're like, Miss Tyndall, I don't know what a right angle is, I'm going to go ahead and show you. So we know that a square has four sides and it of course has four corners. But these corners are not just called corners, they are also called angles. Mathematicians have a special name for these angles that you see or the corners that you see in this shape, and they're called right angles. Even if I turn it like this, the angles stay the same. They're all still right angles no matter which way I turn my shape. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trace on a piece of paper this angle. Okay, when I trace this angle, you get this shape, and it looks like a capital L. And it can look like this, and it can look like this, this. It is still a right angle. And the way we represent a right angle is by putting a little sign like this, so it means that that is a right angle. It's almost like a label on an angle. A way you can check if the angle that you're looking at is a right angle, you can always fit the page of a corner right in, and the two sides will match up perfectly. Okay, now I want you to take your paper for lesson 114 and find this paper that says shapes with right angles. What we are going to do is in this first box, I want you to draw a square. Okay, and I want you to look at that square, and I want you to see how many right angles there are. So if I go like this, there's one, so we're going to put a small square there. If I go like this, there's another one. Like that. There's another one. And like that. There's another one. So there are four right angles in this first square that we did. Now, in the second one, I want you to make a triangle that looks like this. Okay, now I want you to figure out how many right angles there are in this one. I'm going to give you a few seconds to look. Which corners make basically a capital L shape? Let's look. So this first one, does this top line go across? It doesn't because it goes down, right? So that cannot be a right angle. Let's look at this one. Oh, look, you see that it goes on this side and this side. So this is a right angle. Then on this one, again, it does not go straight up and down, so that one is not a right angle. Okay, for shape 3, I want you to make a rectangle. And I want you to find all the right angles in a rectangle. I'm going to give you a few minutes. Not even a few minutes, a few seconds. Okay, let's look. That can make an L. This makes an upside down L. That one makes an L. That one makes an L. So there are four right angles on a square and a rectangle, and one on this triangle. Okay. Now here you guys get to make your own creation, but you need to have at least one right angle. So I'm going to start with my creation. I'm going to start with a right angle. Okay, this is my one right angle. And I'm going to make a whole creation. If you notice, on my creation, I have more than one right angle. This one is not a right angle. And this one is not a right angle either because this one goes out. But this one, right angle. This one, right here, it fits, right angle. And this one, I can tell, right angle. Okay, so go ahead and make your own creation here. All right, so you have your problem of the day. And again, we're still working on our multiplication of the times 5s. We got to try and get that in memory. We just finished this, so we're going to work on our guided practice 114. And of course, you're going to need your ruler. You can have some crayons if you would like for that. And we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so we're going to, of course, begin centimeters. We need to draw an 8 centimeter. Oh, slippery little pencil. Okay, 8 centimeters. Of course, put your name and the date. Let's measure this. This is 9 centimeters. All right, let's read this. There are 43 jump ropes and 12 balls for the children to use during recess. 15 children are using jump ropes. How many jump ropes are not being used? Okay, so we're going to read it again, but we're only going to underline the numbers with jump ropes. So there are 43 jump ropes and 12 balls for the children to use during recess. 15 children are using jump ropes. How many jump ropes are not being used? So we're going to take 43 and we are going to subtract 15. So we're going to use our workspace. Okay, 5 is bigger than 3, so we need to borrow. This becomes 3 and this becomes 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. 3 minus 1 is 2. So let's write our number sentence. 43 minus 15 equals 28. So the answer is 28 jump ropes. All right. Here you can use colors. I'm just going to use my pencil. This is a tally chart to show how many children chose each color. Color the graph to show the colors the children chose. So yellow, 5, 10. So here's 10. All right, purple, 5, 6, 7. So 7 is not on there, but we know 7 goes in between 6 and 8. So we're going to split this one in half. And then we can color. In pink, there are 5. 5 is not on this graph, but we know 5 is between 4 and 6. So we're going to split that in half and then color the pink. Okay. All right. The next one says color 4 and 1/4 squares. So we know we need to color 4 whole squares. And again, if I'm going too fast, just pause. If you're not up to where I am right now, just pause and catch up. It's totally cool. That's why we do these videos, is so you can pause, catch up, and then go over what we've done. Okay, so we need to break this into 4s and color 1/4. Okay, it says put a small square in each right angle of the shape. Use a corner of a piece of paper to check the angles, which is what we did last time. How many right angles are there? Now, this one gets a little tricky, okay? So we see, of course, we see our very first one is right here. And we know that this one goes both sides, right there. But guess what? There is one more. Remember I said no matter which way you turn your L, it's still going to be a right angle. So if it's like this, like this, like this, it's still going to be a right angle. So let's look at this angle right here. These two are not a right angle because this goes up this way and not over. Same with this side. But here's the tricky one. Up here, if we turn our paper a little bit, this one goes on this side and that side, which makes it an L, just slanted, turned upside down. So this one actually is a right angle. So there are 3 right angles on that one. That one's a tricky one. All right, so it says trace the parallel line segment using a red crayon. So you're going to go back up into here and find 2 lines that, remember, if they continued going, they would not touch. So this one and this one, if they continue going straight up, they would never meet. Okay, it says, what numbers would you use to estimate the sum of 23 and 65? So we need to round 23 and round 65. Remember, we look at this number, and our rule is if it's over 4, let it soar up to the next one. So this is not over 4, so we're going to round this to 20. This one is over 4, so we're going to round that to 70. All right. With this one, if you remember, we're going to find our tens. This is 10. This is 10. Then we go 10, 20, 22. Okay, we're going to add this. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. 10, 11, 12. Here we're going to subtract. 5 is bigger than 4, so we're going to need to borrow. This becomes 8, and this becomes 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. 8 minus 2 is 6. And here we're going to add 5 plus 7 is 12. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8. Very good. So your job is to do the back side, and you're going to still use your red crayon on this side too. Okay? Good luck.